Hello and welcome to the Minimum Competence episode for Wednesday, September 25th, 2024. I'm your host for today, Andrew Leahy, a tax and technology attorney from New Jersey. On today's episode, we have Alex Jones' Infowars auction, a new report on Judge Pauline Newman's capacity to serve, Dentons' lawsuit over a laptop hack, Carolyn Ellison's sentencing, and a New York City data law ruling. Let's remember, you don't get older, you get better, and read today's legal news. On this day in legal history, September 25th, 1789, the United States Congress sent 12 proposed constitutional amendments to the state legislatures for ratification. These amendments were designed to safeguard individual liberties and limit the power of the federal government, addressing concerns raised during the ratification of the Constitution. By 1791, 10 of the amendments were ratified, becoming the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights includes fundamental protections such as freedom of speech, religion, and the press, the right to a fair trial, and protection against unreasonable searches and seizures. Notably, 2 of the 12 proposed amendments were not immediately ratified. One related to congressional representation and never received the necessary support from the states. The other, concerning congressional pay, lay dormant for over 2 centuries before finally being ratified in 1992, becoming the 27th Amendment. This long-delayed ratification demonstrated the lasting nature of the constitutional amendment process. The Bill of Rights has since served as a cornerstone of American democracy, influencing both U.S. law and constitutional frameworks worldwide. A Houston bankruptcy court has approved the sale of assets from Alex Jones' Infowars media platform, marking a significant step in liquidating Jones' estate. U.S. bankruptcy judge Christopher M. Lopez authorized Chapter 7 trustee Christopher R. Murray to employ a sales broker and begin auctioning the assets of Free Speech Systems LLC, Infowars' parent company. This liquidation aims to help Jones pay $1.5 billion in defamation judgments from lawsuits related to his false claims about the 2012 Sandy Hook shooting. The auction will primarily focus on Infowars' intellectual property, including domain names, trademarks, and social media accounts, with bidding set to end on November 8th and an auction on November 13th. Murray may later include Jones's personal intellectual property in the sale. The bankruptcy court previously converted Jones' personal Chapter 11 case into a Chapter 7 liquidation, enabling the victims' families to pursue their claims. Disputes remain over how funds from the sale will be distributed to creditors. A new medical report by neurosurgeon Aaron Filler has concluded that 97-year-old Federal Circuit Judge Pauline Newman is, quote, fully capable of performing her judicial duties. Released by Newman's lawyers, the report follows her suspension by the court's judicial council after she refused a neurological exam with an independent doctor. Filler, a physician and attorney, used advanced brain scans and cited objective data to support his findings, dismissing concerns over subjective interpretation. Filler also compared Newman's current verbal and analytical abilities with his prior interactions with her during legal cases in 2019 and 2022. This report counters previous exams that raised questions about the independence of Newman's physicians, as her colleagues suggested potential conflicts of interest. Newman's legal team has consistently defended her health and capacity, and this latest report is a key piece in their efforts to overturn her suspension. The Judicial Committee has not yet commented on the new findings. A lawsuit filed in the U.S. District Court for the Central District of California claims that law firm Dentons assisted vape distributor Next Level Holdings in sabotaging vape manufacturer Avid Holdings. The complaint alleges that Dentons, through its offices in Salt Lake City and Shanghai, helped orchestrate a scheme to take control of Avid's assets, cut out its founder, and drain its resources. As part of this plan, Avid claims that Dentons hacked into the laptop of its founder, citing Google Drive logs linking the firm's IP address to the breach. Next Level allegedly used the stolen information to mislead judges in prior legal disputes with Avid. Dentons has not yet commented on the lawsuit. Avid's attorney, Colin Hagan, declined to provide further remarks. The lawsuit follows Dentons' recent severing of ties with its Chinese affiliate, Dacheng Law Offices. Carolyn Ellison, former CEO of Alameda Research and ex-girlfriend of Sam Bankman-Fried, was sentenced to 2 years in prison for her involvement in the $8 billion fraud linked to FTX's collapse. Despite her cooperation with prosecutors, U.S. District Judge Lewis Kaplan emphasized that remorse and cooperation shouldn't serve as a get-out-of-jail-free card in such a serious case. Ellison has pleaded guilty to 7 counts of fraud and conspiracy, which could have carried a sentence of up to 110 years. Her testimony was pivotal in securing Bankman-Fried's conviction, as she revealed that he directed her to misappropriate customer funds. While the prosecution acknowledged her critical role in convicting Bankman-Fried, who was serving 25 years, the judge still deemed her gravely culpable in the fraud. Ellison expressed deep regret for her actions and will begin serving her sentence in November. Other FTX executives who cooperated, Nishad Singh and Gary Wang, are scheduled for sentencing later in 2024. A federal judge has ruled that a New York City law requiring food delivery companies to share customer data with restaurants is unconstitutional. U.S. District Judge Annalisa Torres sided with DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats, determining that the law violated the First Amendment by improperly regulating commercial speech. The law, enacted in 2021 to support restaurants recovering from the pandemic, required delivery services to share customer names, addresses, emails, phone numbers, and order details with restaurants. The companies argued that this violated customer privacy and data security and hurt their business by allowing restaurants to use the data for marketing purposes. The judge found the city had less invasive ways to help restaurants, such as letting customers opt to share their data or offering incentives. While DoorDash welcomed the ruling, restaurant industry representatives criticized it, arguing it harms small businesses and urged the city to appeal. And with that, and as always, I thank you so much for listening to Minimum Competence, your daily news podcast for lawyers. If you're looking for more than Minimum Competence, links to further reading on all the topics touched on today are in the show notes. Reviews go a long way towards helping new listeners to find our show. If you have a moment, leave a rating or review on your podcast player. We sure appreciate it. And if you know someone that might be interested in a story we cover, consider sending them the episode. But remember, nothing here should be construed as legal advice because it is certainly not that. Minimum Competence is available at minimumcomp.com and wherever you get your finely crafted podcasts. If you haven't checked out the website in a while, give it a look. There are complete transcripts and resources for each episode and its corresponding segments, as well as an opportunity to receive new episodes in email, newsletter, form. We'll see you back here tomorrow, and until then, remember, growing old is mandatory, growing up is optional.